Good day, guys. How are you doing today? Our previous question exercise, we solved this problem using class. This question is too small for us to use a class, but I just demonstrated it that it can also be done with what? With a class. But now let's use a function to solve this problem in C++. Then this same question read that write a C++ program to raise an integer value n from the user and determines the value of n based on the sign of n. Set n equals 1 if the value of n is positive and n equals 0 if n is 0 and n equals minus 1 if n is negative number. Display the value of n with a clear message. Assume that the signed number is not put into consideration here. Just the same way, I will also still use another method we use in C++, like function prototype, so that to explain how also you can also achieve some things with it with function prototype as well. Let's begin by including some of our header files. Include iostream and also using names, say std. Then we have int main, which is our main function. Return 0. Imagine, the reason why we want to have our main function on top. So that's why any function that we declare below it, we have to what? Include the function prototype and tell the compiler that this function declaration here is being implemented in the below main functions. So let's do that now. Function prototypes. Prototype. Then let's declare a function to return a string. To declare a string, it'll be read value n from the user. But taking in an integer, you can put the m there, you can neglect it. Then let's implement the same function here. String, the same way, is taking what? Integer m. Now let's declare a message and let's take the first aspect. Write a C++ program that reads an integer value n from the user. Let's read from the user. Let's come to our main functions. Why do we need to pass our main functions? From one time you run the program, you can also declare everything inside this function and just call this function inside this main. Because if we don't put this function inside the main, our system, the program, the compiler will not see it. So all our starting program start within the main. Therefore, now let's create a function called int m now. Then cout. We have our insertion operator. This is an output or insertion operator. Output or insertion is string. What do I mean by the string? It inserts to this console. Insert to the console, to your terminal. So from our code, it inserts to the console. Then it's enter the value of n. Then we have our cin. Then we read this value now. We insert what is our extraction operator. Extract from the console the value. This is extraction operator that extracts the value from the console. These are what? Insertion operator that inserts the value, this content into the stream, to this stream control terminal here. Now, the first part has been solved here. Now let's check for m and m other m's. Let's carry out the logic inside this place. If m, because this m has been passed here already, it has been passed here, so the value of m now is stored here. So if m is greater than, is greater than 0, n equal to what? 1. According to the message, M, so if not declare N, equal to 1, message equal format. Format is not same because we've not included the format here as well. In the header file, include format. Then we have format. Then N is positive. They just say, okay, the value of N is positive, base value of N, the value of N is positive based on the value of N equals to this. So therefore we only put N here. So this will just return this message for us from our previous class. Then we just have it here. Our value of N is positive, N is positive due to this. Now let's exit. Let's check for the other condition. If N equals 0, N equals 0, message the value of N is 0 based on the value of M days. Yes. And the X. Now let's check for the S now. S, N is -1. Value of N is negative based on the value of N equal to what? This. Now, therefore, let's return our message. Let's now return this. Because the function A returns strings, so we have to return string message. So because the question states that with appropriate message, with a clear message. So this is our message now. Therefore, let's compile this program and run it. But you have to see out this. So we have a message, so string out. Let's put NL this. Now let's compile it. CD P7 G++ std. Remember, because of this, what we are using here is we are using C++20 format. You see, also check this, your configuration. You have this file in your VS Code settings. You are using setting VS Code. You are using other compiler. You can also use that. If you are not using VS Code, just want to use ordinary text or terminal or any normal editor, you can just use the normal C17 without putting std C++20. But this format, you won't be able to use the format. You can just use the string concatenation method to display your message. You can concatenate them, so not necessarily using the format method. So you can just find a way to concatenate them together. Then we have our output, make it output. Then what's the name of the file? Let's name it as what? AP, and this one is app.c. Let's compile the program. We have it here. We have AP now. Let's compile it. Let's give the value of N. Value of M is what? -787. Set the value of N is negative based on the value of M equal to what? 87. You can see that we get a clear message now. So the same thing also happen. For you also test for other ones. Maybe test for 45. Value of N is positive based on the value of N what? 45. And we also check for 0. And see 0 because N is 0. So our code also still work well compared to line, same thing, almost the same thing. See the number of line spacing -7. So you call this question from here now. We have how many lines of code? 48 lines. And if we check this as well, for us to see what can you see? the function reduce compared to classes, but our class make our code more structured compared to ordinary functions. So now, since you have done that, I've undo the those deleted questions. Now, thank you very much. So we meet in the next lecture. Please like, share, subscribe. Bye-bye.